Good morning, everyone. Today's topic is about my case study. Topic is about Indian English literature. I'm Deepa Murgesh, Department of English, Dr. Essence Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. So here in our first slide, we're just going to discuss the significance and importance of Indian English literature. Indian English literature is what refers to the body of writers in India who write in English language and whose native or co-native language could be of numerous languages outside India. So it is also not only associated with single person, it has been associated with the works of members of the Indian diaspora. A lot of Indian diaspora like Naipal, Kiran Desai, Jhumpa Lahiri, Salman Rushdie, etc., who were descendants of India, and they are frequently referred to as Indo-Anglian literature. So here, this Indo-Anglian is a specific term in the sole context of writing that should be confused with the term Anglo-Indian. As a category, this production comes under the broader realm of post-colonial literature. So, as you know that we owe a lot of things to the post-colonial literature. So here, a history of English literature and language in India starts in the foremost advent of English East India Company. So it has been like 200 plus years or 500 plus years during the 1608 when Emperor Jahangir in the courts of the Mughals welcomed Captain William Hawkins, who was a commander of the British naval expedition Hector. So it was India's very first English trade happened, and Englishmen and English coming inside India. So Jahangir later allowed British people to open a permanent port and factory under the request of King James IV that was conveyed by his ambassador St. Thomas Roe. So here, this is how English started to stay here in India. Though it is a foreign language, we find a lot of people, they really felt that English is going to be the universal language, and that's why it stayed here back in our India itself. So as English East India Company spreads its wings in the initially it has spread its wings in the Surat region of India, that means the southern peninsula, and English later started to get newer pockets of influences. So and also it's but it was still time for the first English book to be capitalized during the 18th 17th century. So they saw the coming of the printing press in India. So but the publication of the printing press were largely confined to either printing Bible or government decree. So then came the newspapers. It was during the year 1779 and was the first English newspaper named Hickey's Bengal Gazette was published in India. So this is how we were talking about a lot of things, and this is how English got spread in our India. The breakthrough in Indian literature comes in the 1793 AD, when a person by the name of Sheikh Dean Mohammed published a book in London titled Travels of Dean Mohammed. So, this is the very first book which got released, and it is about the travel book. It is about a travel book. So, this was essentially Mohammed's a travel narrative that can be put somewhere between a non-fiction and a travelogue. So it is not a fiction. It is not. It has been. It can be called as a non-fiction or a travelogue. In its early stages, the Indian writers in English were heavily influenced by the Western art form of the novel. So here, the next slide explains that the early typical Indian English language writers in English, unadulterated by Indian words to convey essential, uh, over an essential that were primarily Indian. So here, many of the authors they don't use their regional specific words to convey. They have to use only English words to convey. The core reason behind this step was the fact that most of the readers were either British or British Indian, educated Indians. So, in the coming century, the writers were largely confined to writing history chronicles and government gazettes. So, and also in the early 20th century, when the British conquest of the India was achieved, a new breed of writers started to emerge on the block. So we Indians, after the British invasion in India, we started concentrating mostly on the patriotic side. So this is how Indian writing in English has become very popular, and we have Rabindranath Tagore and Sarojini Naidu. So in fact, Geetanjali helped Tagore to win Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1930.